Today, I want to talk about why your faith may be failing you or why your faith may not be working the way in which you think it should work. Maybe you've had faith in a process, faith in something unseen, something supernatural, however you may call it, and it's not panning out the way you wanted it to pan out. And in order to understand this, we need to look at what we mean by faith, right? When I think of faith, I think of having some level of strong belief in something that is unseen, something that you haven't seen the proof of what it is you believe in happening. So you haven't seen the physical thing or the tangible thing itself, but you have a certain belief in it or you trust that that thing is going to come into being. So faith, if you think about it fundamentally, is a form of belief, right? A form of belief in the unknown, the unseen. So it hasn't happened yet. And the thing about this is it's important to understand this and why it may be failing you. Because when we think about faith, let me just write it down here. Faith. When we think about faith, it is some belief. And what we need to understand is that different people have different levels of faith. Or what I'm trying to say is faith means something different for each person, right? And you may have different levels of faith for different things. You can go into a religious setting and people will say, okay, have faith in God, it will happen, right? But the thing we don't usually look at is that the different people in the setting have different levels of faith. Some people's faith has, should I say, a stronger belief than others if you were to compare it. And sometimes the strength of the belief has to do with maybe evidence they've seen in their life of the supernatural. So it strengthens their faith. So that alone says one thing, that the word faith is not the same for everybody. Words are empty. And what I mean by this is we fill them with essence, we fill them with meaning. So, what this word may mean for me may mean something different for someone else. So, your faith may be failing you first and foremost because of what it means to you or how much belief or power you have in it, right? And one thing you have to notice about faith is it has to do with trust. And like I said, it has to do with the unknown, right? And with that comes some level of, should I say, doubt, right? So when you think about faith, you can think about it like a spectrum, right? Like a continuous spectrum where maybe, let's say it ends here, right? And there's doubt somewhere in between. And this portion of the spectrum is what you believe is possible, right? And there's some room left there for doubt. When I think about faith, you can think about words like trust. You can think about for some people, their faith, the level of their faith is like a hope, like they hope that something will happen. So in the word belief, there's different levels of how much conviction that people have within that particular belief. So someone's faith could have this level of possibility and this level of doubt. Another person's faith could have this much possibility and this much doubt, right? 50-50. So it's like, oh, they believe, but you know, because they haven't seen it happen, there's that level of doubt. And usually the doubt comes about because the thing that you're having faith in, you can't see it or you haven't seen it manifested. And this is fine. So first of all, I just want to point out that when we say faith, different people will have different things that make up that faith. And there's always doubt, right? And the doubt is coming usually because you are not too sure if it will happen or not. So the doubt is the part of the faith that, should I say, lives in the unknown portion, because you don't know if it will happen or it won't happen, or you don't know if it will happen the way in which you envision it to happen. So that's something to understand about faith. So your faith may not be working because they'll say, maybe some people may use the term, your faith is shaky. And the shakiness has to do with the level of doubt in there, in my understanding of this. And what I would like you to understand is that to sort of strengthen quote unquote this belief or faith, the faith needs to move from hope and trust into conviction and knowing, right? You have to know the thing to be possible. Even though you haven't seen it manifested physically yet, you have to know it as a possibility, and a possibility that exists in reality, because you understand that all possibilities exist no matter what it may be. Even though you haven't seen it yet, even though it hasn't manifested, even though you haven't touched it physically, you understand fundamentally that in the field of reality all possibilities exist, and so it exists. When you come into this knowing about how reality works, this science about how life operates, and to know that all the dreams you may have already exist, they're just yet to manifest in the physical realm. It's what it does is it reduces the level of doubt that exists within your faith. Your doubt becomes smaller and smaller, and that portion of doubt gets taken up by more possibilities. So now it's like, in knowing, you know that it is possible. There's not too much room for doubt. So maybe there's just this much room for doubt. And the more your knowing increases and your understanding increases, the space that is left for doubt gets smaller and smaller until it doesn't exist anymore. So the goal is to move from faith into knowing. You have to know. It's like, and the difference is very simple. I know who I am. When I say my name is Duke, I know it. I don't have faith that my name is Duke. I don't trust that my name is Duke. I don't hope that my name is Duke. I know this to be as it is. If this thing I'm holding, if I drop it and it falls, I know it falls. I don't trust that it will fall. I don't have faith that it will fall. I don't hope that it will fall. I don't hope that it will levitate or not, because in my current belief system that I exist in, which is part of my reality, I know it to be this way. So that the first thing is to get your faith into knowing. Whatever belief system you have to get it to the point of knowing, which is removing all doubts. Now, of course, I understand that you may have some doubts because, like, I haven't seen it yet. And that's the whole point about learning to be a creative being, learning to access your God power to be able to create the reality you want. You don't need to wait to see it physically to know that it exists. And that is, for me, the key behind accessing your ability to create whatever reality you want. It's about seeing it in your imagination, the spiritual realm, the inner world, and seeing it. And when you see it, know that that sight that you've seen exists. If it didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to even imagine it, right? So that seeing is as real as this physical seeing. The thing is, we're usually caught up in experiencing things on the physical and seeing that as real, and seeing imagination and dreams and visions as not real. So we give more power to the things that we see physically. So until we see it, we don't really have that conviction that it exists. But what I'm trying to explain to you here is, as long as you can see it, know that it exists. It exists in that vibrational realm, because every single thing that has been created once existed in that plane, and then action brought it into this physical plane. So the second point I'm making about faith and why faith is not working is, a lot of people end in faith. You stop at the point of belief, and this usually happens in a lot of like religious circles and stuff, where people want to achieve something and all they do is say, have faith, have faith, have faith, and they pray and they get into the spirit and they're having faith, but they forget to take action. If you don't take action, you can't bring whatever it is that you have faith in from that ethereal, spiritual, like lighter realm into this more dense physical realm. It is your action that is able to bring those things into this physical realm. You are the creator of this reality, and you're existing on multiple planes. That is why you have the plane of vision, imagination, and thoughts, and you can take that idea, filter it through your belief systems and your emotions, and act from that place. So you are the alchemist and you are literally taking the unseen and you're making it seen. You are you're an alchemist, you are a transmuter, a transducer. You are taking the energies that no one can see, and that is why usually you will have a vision that maybe many people cannot see your vision, and it's your job to take that vision and bring it into reality. That's why sometimes even when you have a vision, you don't share with too many people, because if they can't see it, they say it's not real, and then it may affect how you even see it and you may doubt yourself. But if you can see it, you can achieve it. If it's perceivable, it's achievable. So that's how all of this is working. The point is to understand what is actually constituting the faith. So the point is to understand first and foremost, when we say faith, it's not just like a non it's not just a feeling that doesn't have conviction in it. It's not just hope. If you're dealing with hope, hope has a lot of doubt in it, because the thing with hope is you are not sure if it will happen. You hope it will happen. You don't really believe that it will happen. You don't really have that conviction. You don't know that it will happen, or you don't know that it exists. So your faith, you have to ask yourself, what is really constituting your faith? You have to deep it. You can't just say all faith is the same. You have to understand what you mean when you say faith and investigate yourself. And your faith also will differ for different things, right? So if there's a particular thing maybe that you want to achieve, ask yourself, what is your belief about it? Even if you feel you have faith, ask yourself, how strong is this faith? And when I say strong in terms of faith, I'm talking about how much do you know it to be real and to be possible, compared to the level of doubt that you have about that particular thing. So it's about always investigating what you mean by that and seeing how much doubting is in it. And your job is to get to a point where you can remove all doubt from it. And you remove all doubt by knowing that it is true, by knowing that even though I haven't seen it, it exists. And once you know that it exists, it becomes your job to tune into the vibrational frequency that is in alignment with that thing actually being in existence, and becoming one with it, and know that once you are one with it, it will unfold. It will come in reality. Different things will happen to make it unfold through your actions. And knowing that action is what allows you to bring that which you have seen in that should I say non-physical realm into the physical realm. You are a physical being, but you are also a spiritual being, and you are able to live in these realms because that is who or what you are. You are a creator. That's why you're able to exist in these realms. That's why you're able to have a thought that no one else can see except you, have a feeling that no one else can feel except you, and take those together and put them into action to bring something new into being. So action is the language of this reality, and action is how you transmute those ideas and those visions and those yearnings that you have and those beliefs into physical space. So if your faith is not working, these are some of the things that you can ask yourself. What is my faith? Is it hope? Is it trust? Or is it knowing? Is it conviction? Is it, and by conviction I mean knowing without a shadow of a doubt, with zero doubt. Because when you know something, then the universe agrees with you. You see, the reality we're living in plays off our belief systems. The reality responds to what we say is true. If you say something is true and you believe and you know it to be true, the reality will reflect that. So if something is not happening in your life, it only says one thing, that there's a part of you that doesn't know it to be true. You may believe it, but then your belief may have a lot of doubt in it. And as long as your belief has a lot of doubt in it, it won't be able to come into reality in the way in which you envision it. It won't be able to come because your doubt is actually sort of like preventing it from coming. So if this is your doubt and this is your belief, and your belief is actually looking to bring the thing into being, as long as you have doubt, the doubt says, I believe it, but I don't think it's possible for whatever reason. So you realize that the doubts also have beliefs that are causing them. So it's about you investigating what the two beliefs are and getting to a point where you can fill the faith or the knowing with so much belief that there's no doubt anymore. And one of the ways of getting the doubt away is to know, to understand that fundamentally all realities, all possibilities exist. All possibilities exist at different frequency, should I say, coordinates, at different vibrational points. If you imagine yourself being a wealthy person, you imagine yourself being an outspoken person, you imagine yourself with a big family, you imagine yourself with a new girlfriend, a new car, whatever it may be. That imagination exists at a particular point in the space-time spectrum, and it's about you learning to tune your frequency to that point. And even you being able to tune your frequency to that point has to do with your conviction. You have to know that, nah, this is possible. And that's why sometimes they use the term fake it before you make it. And it's not really about faking it, it's about knowing it, because you can't lie to yourself. As long as you're lying to yourself, nothing is going to happen. You just have to have that conviction and know, because it's from that conviction that action will be birthed. Because when you know and believe that something is possible, you would at least take the first step towards it. And once you take the first step towards it, it's your conviction that will get you through the periods of time where you may find some hurdles and you may find some challenges and stuff which may try to stop you. Because those challenges are sort of like tests, which sort of like the universe or reality or your larger self is asking you, how much do you really believe you can achieve what you want to achieve? What is your conviction? Do you really know this, or do you have some doubts? And in those moments, you are testing your doubts against your conviction, and whoever wins determines what reality comes. If the doubts win, then the vision you have is not going to manifest. But if your conviction overcomes the doubts, well, the doubts become smaller and smaller. And along the way, different things will happen that will help you see signs that the thing that you actually believe and know to be true is actually true. And sometimes certain things may have happened in your past that you can use as ammo, as fuel, to be able to fill your conviction, or to be able to fill your knowing, to know that, you know what, actually this thing has happened to me before. I was able to create this before, and so I can create that. And slowly you're shrinking your doubts, and slowly you're moving from hope to trust, to conviction, and then to knowing. When you know something, there's no doubt in there. You know for sure that it is. And once you know for sure that it is, the universe, reality has no other option but to respond to your knowing. It is there to serve you, and it's saying that if this God, creator being, says that this is what it is, then that is what it is. And sometimes when your reality is shifting from the old paradigm or the old reality where you had doubt into the new reality where you have conviction, you may go through a little period of chaos where the universe kind of tests you to ask, okay, what really is the reality that you say it is? And in these moments, that is where you have to stay strong in your faith or in your conviction and your knowing, to say that, no, this is what it is, and this is what I'm going for, because I know it exists. And that is how you create your reality, with that conviction, with that internal knowing, amplified with that emotion, that vigor, that vim, to say that, no, this is what I'm going for, and this is what it is. And it's a beautiful journey, because in as much as you have your vision and you're strong on what it is you want to achieve, you always have to leave room for the unknown, because what you perceived in your mind's eye may not come exactly how you perceived it, or may not unfold exactly how you envisioned it. It will come, but it may come in a different way, and it may even usually come more and bring you more than you actually envisioned. So you always have to, not get attached to exactly the way you envision it, because that attachment can also cause resistance and may prevent the thing from coming, because you are co-creating with source energy, you're co-creating reality, you're co-creating with the other beings in existence. So you do your job in keeping that vibration of knowing and that conviction and that vim and that lack of doubt alive, and that vibration sort of powers the rest of the universe to be able to bring along the different cooperative components to make the thing that you envision come into being, and it will usually be even more than you imagined. So always leave that free space and surrender to the flow. Just keep the vibration alive, keep the vibration strong. If you're going to call it faith, let it be faith without doubt. In fact, move beyond faith into knowing, into conviction, into absolute knowing that even though I haven't seen it physically, I have seen it internally. I have seen the vision. And the vision is just a different form of reality, as above, as below, as within, as without. It is the same thing, and once you have seen it, it is possible. So just stay on that vibration and do activities that help, should I say, fan the flames of that vibration so that you can continue to stay on that journey. And because your activity is a way of you saying to your higher self, saying to the idea that you have, that I believe without a shadow of doubt that this is possible, so I'm going to take the first step, and then I'll take the second step, and then I'll take the third step. Because if you don't take those steps, you're basically saying you don't know it to be true, you don't believe it to be true, and you don't really have faith. So your faith, your belief, whatever it is, has to have action. It is paramount that it has action, because without action, nothing is going to happen. You can't stay in faith, and also your faith cannot have any doubt in it. This is what I have to share today about faith and why your faith may not be working, because of maybe how you understand it, because you haven't done that investigation of what it really means, because you have doubts, and because you're not taking action. So don't get caught up in faith and just be praying and be saying, oh, it's going to come true without taking action, and we're still having doubts. Nothing is going to happen. It's not about magic. Or should I say, it's not about just imagining and then it happened. It's a science, and that science involves your activity. It involves your envisioning, your thoughts, your feelings, your belief systems, and your action. Because without that entirety of your being, it will not come into fruition the way in which you've imagined it. Just as a seed has the potential for a tree and fruits in it, it needs nurturing, it needs activity, it needs like water, it needs sunshine, it needs caring. All those different things are activities that work together with the inherent divine, should I say, magic and science and art within the seed to bear the fruits. So in the same way, whatever fruits you have in your vision, you need to act on it, and you need to understand faith, action, knowing, belief in this way to be able to bring it into being. So this is the message I have for you today. I hope it's brought you some enlightenment. It's allowed you to think about things differently, and it's brought you some value, and you can apply it in your life. And if you have any questions, comments, please do share, and we can continue this conversation. And if you'd like to contact me for maybe one-on-ones or more conversations about things like this, I'll leave my information there as well. So thank you for tuning in as always, and until next time, have a beautiful day.